I want to share a perspective with you today. Now, it is the distinction between being either self-sacrificing, aka a people pleaser, or selfish, and comparing that to being selfless. Now, the difference between this is so important to understand to really shift this. A lot of times people think that they are being very selfless, but they're actually being self-sacrificing. So if somebody asks you to do something and you think, okay, well, they always do things for me and they're always there for me, and or I don't want to upset them and I don't want to trigger them by saying no. Well, that's people pleasing, right? Like, that's self-sacrificing. We can all agree that we understand that. But self-sacrificing is when you are not 100% aligned to your soul. You are not making your soul a priority. And you compromise what your soul needs in that moment to help another person. AKA, your cup is not full. If you are not aligned to your soul, your cup is not full. That actually rhymes. It's so funny. So, really seeing that, if you were to look at your life and all of those times that you actually thought that you were being selfless, and you look, was I aligned with my soul? Did I feel like my cup was completely full? If the answer is no, then you are actually being self-sacrificing. So, to give you an example, today I was out for a nature walk. I was meditating. My soul was requiring a lot of healing today. Woo! There's a bee. Sorry. My soul was requiring a lot of healing today and a lot of quiet time. And I was listening to some music to meditate to. And my phone rang because I didn't have it on silent. And the person who called me asked me to do something for them. And I felt like, oh, well, this person asked me to do this. I have to do this. And then I said, okay. And so I headed back from my meditative walk. It wasn't like one of those things like, oh, I can do it later. It was like they needed me right now. And so I said, okay. And then as I was walking back, I became very angry. I became very resentful and just literally pissed off. And I was like, wow, isn't this interesting? Okay. So what happened here was I stopped listening to my soul because this person asked me to do something. So that's considered self-sacrificing right there, because in this moment, this is what my soul needed. My soul needed the nature. And yeah, I can see, from one perspective, it's like, okay, fine, Deanna, stop what you're doing, go help the person, and then come back to that. But with that, you still are not in alignment with your soul if you are saying no to your soul for someone else. That is considered self-sacrificing, okay? But most of society would say, oh, well, just be selfless, right? Take care of that person and then come back to yourself, whatever. It might take you 5-10 minutes. But that's not the point that I'm trying to get across. What I'm trying to get across is that for us to step into actually sitting in the high vibration energy of selflessness, we need to be taking care of our soul. And the way for us to do that is through a means of altruism. And altruism is where both parties are having an equal exchange. So if I say yes to this person, it is filling my soul and it is filling their soul. And if my soul is not being filled, then it is self-sacrificing. If their soul is not being filled, it is selfishness. Okay, so do you see the difference there? So I'm sharing this with you so you can see the difference in, like, it's literally just a difference in frequency. So people pleasing and self-sacrificing and selfishness, when only one party is receiving benefit for their soul, is a very low frequency energy. And when both parties are receiving, the frequency rises up. And then when you step into a space where your cup is completely full, then you no longer need to even ask the question, is this a mutually beneficial exchange? And that's when we can fully step into being selfless. So the other part of this is recognizing there's absolutely nothing wrong. There's no need to be angry at yourself when you do step into being self-sacrificing or selfish. It's a matter of stepping into understanding, okay, what actually happened here? I forgive myself. And I'm just seeing that there's a program running unconsciously that's having me be this way and not respect myself or respect other people. And being like, okay, so next time, now that I've acknowledged this and I've observed it, next time, let's try to step into a space where both souls receive an equal exchange. And then your frequency is going to rise from there.